Indiana Fever's 5 most toxic players dragging down Caitlin Clark. Let's be real. Caitlin Clark entered her second WNBA season with a massive target on her back and the full weight of the league's spotlight. After a record-breaking rookie campaign, 19.4 points per game, league leader in assists, expectations for 2025 were sky high. But instead of taking flight, the Indiana Fever have remained frustratingly inconsistent. The truth? This roster has some serious weak links. Today, we're counting down the 5 players sabotaging the Caitlin Clark era, from number 5 to the most damaging at number 1. Jacqueline 5, Sydney Coulson. When the Fever signed Sydney Coulson on February 5, 2025, the goal was simple: bring in a veteran leader to stabilize the locker room and mentor the younger players. On paper, she's that steady presence. On the court, practically invisible. In 28 games, Coulson has averaged just 2.5 points, 0.8 rebounds, and 2 assists in under 11 minutes per night. She's rarely in crunch time lineups, looks hesitant when she does get minutes, and at 35, her pace has slowed to a crawl. For a team built on speed, quick cuts, and fast ball movement, her style is a momentum killer. Clark thrives alongside guards who shoot without hesitation and push the tempo. Coulson dribbles too long, passes late, and stalls the offense. Off the court, she's a leader, but in games, she's taking up valuable minutes that could go to younger, faster players ready to run. Knockerfoot 4. Brianna Turner. Brianna Turner's struggles are even more baffling. Expectations were high for the former first-round pick, once known as an elite defender with relentless hustle and shot-blocking ability. This season, that player has vanished. In 14 games, Turner is averaging just 0.4 points, 0.9 rebounds, and 0.2 assists, while shooting a miserable 20% from the field. Her energy, which used to be her defining trait, has all but disappeared. She's barely logged 60 minutes all season, and the numbers aren't just bad, they're historically bad for a forward. Turner should be setting rock-solid screens for Clark, rolling hard to the rim and dominating the glass. Instead, she drifts through possessions, avoids contact, and rarely uses her size as an advantage. Her body language screams disengaged, and her defensive communication is almost non-existent. For a team trying to maximize every second Clark is on the court, Turner's minutes have turned into wasted opportunities. Number 3, Kelsey Mitchell. This one's going to ruffle some feathers. Kelsey Mitchell is a proven scorer, the Fever's go-to option since entering the league in 2018. Last season, she dropped over 18 points per game. This year, she's still at 16.6. So, what's the problem? Fit. Caitlin Clark is now the offensive engine. The ball should run through her, with the team moving in sync off her playmaking. But Mitchell still plays like she's the primary guard, holding the ball too long, over-dribbling, and leaning on isolation plays to find rhythm. When Clark controls the offense, Indiana hums. When Mitchell takes over, the flow dies, spacing collapses, and the tempo slows to a crawl. Her reluctance to adapt has created a clash of styles, one that the box score can't fully capture. Defenders know the game plan: sag off Mitchell, bleed the shot clock, and force her into tough, low-percentage looks. Sure, she can hit them, but they're rarely the shots the team actually needs. And there's a bigger problem: she doesn't thrive off the ball. Mitchell isn't the catch-and-shoot threat you want next to Clark, and on defense, she's still a liability. Opposing guards target her in switches, which forces Clark to pick up the slack, extra mileage Indiana can't afford, especially after her groin strain in July. Then there's the contract situation. Mitchell's entering unrestricted free agency and reportedly wants max money. But if your foundation is Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, you build around defenders, sharpshooters, and unselfish role players. Mitchell still sees herself as the alpha, and that simply doesn't fit the Fever's future. Natu, Damiris Dantas. When Indiana signed Damiris Dantas in 2024, the vision was clear: toughness in the paint, rebounding muscle, and a stretch big threat to keep the floor open. But here in 2025, the production doesn't match the plan. She's averaging just 5.0 points and 2.4 rebounds, shooting under 38% from the field. Her floor spacing role has fizzled, and her interior presence, the very reason she was brought in, has been underwhelming. That's far too low for a forward expected to finish inside and stretch the floor. Her rotations are sluggish, her transition defense lacks urgency, and when the game's on the line, she disappears. Clark's style thrives on spacing, drive, collapse the defense, then kick to ready shooters. Dantas hesitates. That split-second pause kills rhythm, possessions, and momentum. Defensively, the modern WNBA demands power forwards who can switch, close out, and protect the rim. Dantas struggles in all three areas. Heavy feet, late closeouts, and minimal communication leave holes Clark is forced to cover. She's not toxic in a locker room drama sense. She's toxic in the passive sense, holding minutes while younger, hungrier players stay glued to the bench. Number 1. Natasha Howard. This is the biggest drag on Caitlin Clark's system. On paper, Howard was the dream signing, former All-Star, 3-time WNBA champion, proven paint presence. In reality, she's been a slow-motion letdown. Through 2025, she's putting up 11.6 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. Decent until you see the problem. Shooting under 41% from the floor. For a forward living inside the arc, that's a red flag. Missed layups, short jumpers clanging off iron, and mistimed putbacks have become routine. Clark's system needs forwards who either finish hard at the rim or stretch defenses with a reliable jumper. Howard is doing neither. She drifts away from the basket, avoids aggressive dives on pick and rolls, and when she does get the ball on the move, her touch is inconsistent. Defensively, the drop-off is glaring. Howard used to be a switch anything, lock up anyone defender. At 32, that burst is gone. Now she's beaten off the dribble, her footwork is stiff, and her rotations are a beat too late. Guards see her in drop coverage and attack without hesitation. And it's not just skill, it's energy. Watch her body language. Shoulders slumped after turnovers, little reaction when teammates make big plays, slow to get back on defense. During timeouts, she's detached. The opposite of Clark, who's constantly clapping, calling out mismatches, and rallying her team even when hurt. Howard wasn't signed to be a role player. She's one of Indiana's highest-paid veterans, meant to be a core piece with Aaliyah Boston. Instead, she's clogging spacing, slowing the offense, and taking minutes from players like Michaela Onyenwere and Chloe Beebe, players who actually cut hard, sprint the floor, and move with purpose. Her slow decisions kill transition chances. Clark will push the ball, looking for a trailer or cutter, but Howard lags too far behind. If she catches it, she resets instead of attacking, giving defenses time to recover and erasing easy scoring opportunities. Those half-second delays waste possessions and potential. Right now, Howard is the embodiment of what doesn't work in this system. Mismatched pace, shaky confidence, and production that doesn't match the paycheck. When Clark drives and kicks, she needs a ready shooter. When she calls for a switch, she needs reliable help. When the huddle forms, she needs every voice engaged. Howard hasn't provided that once this season. This is a turning point for Indiana. They have the league's most talked about player, a massive rookie-driven fan base, and a dream pick-and-roll partner in Clark and Boston. But hype doesn't equal wins. Building a contender requires cold-blooded decisions, not sentiment. If Indiana doesn't cut dead weight now, they risk burning through Clark's prime, and maybe losing her entirely. The formula is simple. Surround her with players who match her tempo, protect her body, and elevate her IQ. It's not just about talent, it's about knowing your role, bringing energy, and sacrificing for the team. That's why Lexi Hull is safe. She defends like it's personal, doesn't need touches to impact the game, and moves perfectly within the offense. Same with Sophie Cunningham.